Hello, hello, hello. How are ya? This is Jennifer Edwards here, coming to you live from New Jersey. It's late, so I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, but this is not going to be a short one because I have lots to tell you. So if you are catching me live, could you just drop a 1 in the comments? And if you are catching the replay, drop a 2 or write replay in the comments. I just want to know when you guys are seeing me. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Where are you watching me from? I'm in Central Jersey. Weather's actually feeling kind of warm. Feels almost like spring, and it's like 30 degrees, which is ridiculous. But anyway, so topic for today. Have you ever felt stuck in your life? Okay, so stuck, trapped where you are, stuck in a bad situation, a job, a career you hate, finances, a bad relationship, terrible friendships, just the general state of your life. Do you feel trapped in it? Are you stuck, frustrated, dissatisfied with your life, with something specific? Well, anyway, so you feel like something needs to change. You don't know how to change it, how to go about making it happen. Well, obviously, we all go through this at some point in our life, right? And it's up to us to try to get through it on the other side. So, we either get caught up in paralysis by analysis, like overthinking things, making it too complicated where you don't know where to start. Maybe you find out all your options and you're just like, I don't even know where to start. Or other times you just don't know what you can do to change it. You just think that it's maybe a hopeless situation. You don't even know where to go. Or maybe you're paralyzed by fear and fear to take any action, to make any changes, whatever. And then, sometimes we're just like so overwhelmed by our daily life, paying bills, going to work, family obligations, social obligations, housework, that we can't even be bothered to, think about how to get unstuck or really just think about it in general. And so we stay on the path we're on, we stay unsatisfied. And then the longer that we do this, we become more and more unsatisfied with our life or our situation, right? So anyway, by doing nothing is going to change. So anyway, I wanted to tell you a story real quick before I jump into the 7 ways that you can get started with getting back on track or getting your life where you want it to go. So I'm going to tell you my story. I was going to do this tell it from a third person's point of view, but I'm going to screw it up along the way. So I'll just cut to the point and say that it's my story. Okay. Well, before I even go there, any of you feel stuck in some area of your life? You don't necessarily need to share that with me, what you feel stuck with. But if you are feeling stuck in one area of your life, let me know. Drop a 3 in the comments. I just want to know. I know I'm not alone. Don't be shy. Please share. Okay. So anyway, I was totally right in college, right? I was driven by money. That's what I wanted. Hey, hon, how are ya? So I was driven by money. Money drove a lot of my decisions from high school all the way up until maybe, 10 years ago. I went to school for business. Ultimately, I started out as an accounting major. I was an accounting major for like 3 years. My 3rd year in, I decided that I did not like it. I was not passionate about it. I quickly realized that 80-hour weeks were not going to be for me. I didn't want to be a CPA. I was like, why am I doing this? And so I decided to change my major to art. And I went to a college that at the time was pretty expensive. I mean, it was a private school, and in the grand scheme of things, I think it was like 20 grand a year, which now is nothing. But my dad as soon as he caught wind that I changed my major to art, was like, no, that's not going to happen, or I'm not going to pay for it. So I quickly reconsidered and figured out how I could apply my credits to something different. And so I decided to do business management. And while I regretted dropping the art thing, because art is really where my passion is and always has been, while I regretted dropping that, I mean, I don't regret the business background, because it has helped me in a lot of different ways, so many ways, to have like a well-rounded background in business management, right? So, I mean, it's not terrible. Hi, Joanna. So anyway, I changed my major, like I said, back to business management. I did minor in graphic design for like a year. I never really got into that part. I did some basic design classes and stuff like that, which I loved. But then I ultimately decided to drop the graphic design part because I wanted to graduate on time, which was already late because I was on the 5-year plan. But anyway, so my first job out of college didn't pay very much, but it was, it did get me a Series 6 license. I figured that I wanted to grow up to be a stockbroker. So like that was kind of my goal, but you know, I don't know what I was thinking, but that's okay. I just thought money, right? So anyway, it was a stepping stone. I jumped around a little bit to find myself. I sold life insurance for a little while, and then ended up going back to like, you know, regular job. But I did ultimately land in equity compensation. So that's what I do consulting in, and that's stock options and restricted stock if you work for a company that gives you that. Like I support companies that have those programs. So anyway, that in a nutshell is what I got into. That is such a niche market. So it's kind of like everybody knows each other, and it's a very specific thing. So what had happened to me, I was super passionate about it for a long while actually, but it was mostly while I could work long hours and juggle deadlines and handle a lot of pressure. And then I became a mom. So, you know, it kind of ended up taking a back seat. And one day I woke up and I'm like, you know what? I am totally unfulfilled in this. You know, I was still passionate, but I felt like I should be more fulfilled if I'm spending all of my time away from my baby. And so that's kind of, you know, where I was at. And then I lived with this constant threat of layoffs, and there was no company loyalty towards me. I didn't really feel any loyalty towards the companies I was with, and, you know, whatever. So it felt like a midlife crisis, right? And so, and the worst part for me was that I was really near the cap of the salary range for this kind of job. It was kind of like I was near the top. I didn't really feel like, you know, I could move around, but any company I moved to, it was going to be just like really small increments. Now, if I was going to get an increase at all, I was overqualified for a lot of the jobs. And so like it became harder to find work, and it became harder to find more money and whatever. So, I one day decided to register to go back to school for graphic design. And I signed up for like a program, and I was in the middle of like applying for financial aid and all that other stuff. And then like I realized quickly that we would never be able to survive on a graphic designer salary. No offense to graphic designers out there. I'm jealous of what you get to do for a living, but like it was just not in the cards for me to drop like probably 2/3 of my pay. It just was never going to happen. And so like I was really bummed out and really felt stuck, and there was, you know, so unfulfilled and just kind of going through the motions. And so I changed for new jobs. Like I decided to work in New York to make better money. And so that's kind of where I went for a while. You know, I dealt with the same stuff. It was like company drama and office politics and constant threat of layoffs, and still no choice really like about continuing in this line of work. So that's kind of what I did. And so, you know, and then one day I discovered network marketing. Okay. And this is not a live about network marketing at all. I knew of it. I had several friends who worked for other companies, and, you know, it was just something I never wanted to do before. Okay. But I didn't have a strong reason to want to do it before. I thought it was an industry for work from home, for stay-at-home moms to, make some extra money and get out of the house. And I really thought, hey, they never even make any money anyway. They use it to buy stuff that from the company that they work with. So that's kind of what I thought about network marketing beforehand. So like I said, I'm not really going to talk about network marketing, but I did go to that meeting. I caught the vision, okay? And that's all I needed to catch. It was like, be your own boss, make your own choices, live your own life kind of vision. That's what I caught from that. And so, it became really what has fulfilled me for the past several years, 4 years, and moved me past being stuck. And I think the biggest reason why I can say I feel fulfilled now is that it gave me so many more options with my life, and taught me, not to be afraid of working for myself and trusting myself and being able to bring in an income and whatever without working for someone else and not getting a steady paycheck. So the biggest thing for me is that I now have a choice on how I spend my time that I'm not spending with my kids. So that's the big deal for me. So anyway, that's my story in a nutshell. Like I said, by getting involved in network marketing, I was challenged in new ways that I wasn't challenged with in corporate America. I got to learn a lot about leadership. I really, honestly, truly learned something new every single day. It was a way, or is a way, to earn extra money, and it's a lot better at that than I originally thought it would ever be. It's fulfilling helping others and fulfilling watching others grow along with me, and really started feeling like I was able to add value to other people's lives where I couldn't do that with what I was doing. I mean, unless you were one of the top people who were getting these grants from the company, you weren't even benefiting from what I did. And then, whatever. So fast forward now 2 years. I ultimately, after I got involved in network marketing, I lost my New York City job. Some people would have been upset about that. I literally jumped for joy. I don't think my boss at the time really understood why I wasn't upset. But I was like, this is my chance. This is my freedom. And, I was thrilled. Yes, I did worry about how we were going to make it, but it was probably one of the best days of my life. So I haven't gone back to work. The personal development that I got through getting involved in network marketing allowed me to really, trust myself, like I said, and find a way to be comfortable, or at least brave enough to work for myself and not get that steady paycheck I told you about. So I've learned by taking the tiniest little steps in the direction that I want to go really leads to things working out. And there were a lot of things that happened along the way, which I won't get into, but that really have helped me get to where I am now and get my consulting work and, everything, chance little things that happened. But if I weren't looking for them, they would not have happened, and they would have not fallen in my lap, and I wouldn't have met the right people, and I did. So anyway, here, getting to the main topic of our live here, here are some questions to ask yourself when you are feeling stuck and you want to be able to move past whatever stage of life you are in and where you are feeling stuck. So again, jumping back to this, if you're feeling stuck in a bad situation or a job or a career or finances or a relationship or general state of your life, these are some questions to ask yourself to begin to move past them. Number one, what area am I feeling held back in? So sometimes it can be overwhelming, and sometimes your life may feel like nothing is together and that everything is going wrong. But what you want to do is narrow down where things are the most frustrating for you. Start with one piece at a time. What part of your life would you like to change, and focus on that, okay? So find your one area. Number 2, ask yourself, what do I want most right now? If there were no downsides and no limits to what you could be or achieve or have, what would you want? If time and money were no object, what would you want? And if you have a hard time answering that question, you're probably already limiting yourself in your mind and not thinking big enough. And so you want to get the grandest vision you can imagine, and like, really, what do you think it is that you want right now, and what would make you the most happy? And then number 3, you want to ask, why do you want it? What do you hope that it will give you or bring you to? And then visualize actually receiving and experiencing the change that you most want to see, and then you want to like tap into the emotional side of that. What will the feelings be associated with that? Like, say, your okay, so for me right now, like, we'll talk about finances real quick. Like, say, paying off all of our credit cards or whatever. Like, what will that feel like when you're finally able to do that? And what are your goals? What's it going to be like when you don't have that hanging over your head? And so how much do you want it? And why do you want it? And then why is it important to you? For example, for us, it's important to me because it means that we can maybe get a new car or have some freedom to do additional things that we really want to do, or maybe make changes to the house or whatever. And you've probably already envisioned the outcomes of, what it is that you want, and what life would be like if you had what you're looking for. But these new, and what these changes would bring you. But if you got what you wanted, what do you expect will come along with it? Okay. And then how do you expect to feel when it's yours? So that was number 3. Number 4 is, ask yourself, what is standing in my way? And you really want to get honest with yourself. Okay, so there's probably going to be things that are obstacles for you that are either internal or external, and you want to list them all and really write them down, list them all, because this is going to help you in the next step. Okay, so you want to list them all, write them all down, write down your external limitations. So that may be like family obligations, or your work hours, or maybe you don't have a car, or I don't know, whatever. But those might be your external limitations, okay? Internal limitations are the negative things that you may tell yourself. So maybe you're telling yourself, I don't deserve this, or I won't be good at this, so why should I even try? Sorry, just flipping through my notes here. You want to find out what's true about these obstacles. Like, are they really an obstacle, or is there maybe a loophole? Are there any workarounds that you can put into play to eliminate them? And then, are some of these in your head more than physical obstacles? So a mental block. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 5 is, ask yourself, how can I reframe things to better support myself, right? So how can you reframe your outlook and make, get an awareness really of limiting beliefs. And when you have an awareness about your limiting beliefs, it's really the first step to changing them. So if the message you've been telling yourself is not true, try reframing it into maybe an affirmation. So for example, you can turn, oh, I'm not good enough, into I believe in my skills and abilities. Or if you keep saying to yourself, oh, I failed at such and such before, so this won't work out, you can change that to, although such and such went wrong, I can handle this challenge and try something different. Or maybe you can say, instead of saying to yourself, I have no time, you reframe that to, I will find time for what's important to me. And that's a good one for me to keep in mind, because I say I don't have time all the time. Okay, so anyway, and what you want to do from the last number, you actually want to rewrite your limiting beliefs into new positive messages that you can use to support yourself on your journey. So my husband and I actually did this a while back. Like, we wrote out affirmations and we were saying them. But I actually did it so much that there are affirmations that I literally think when I start thinking the negative thing, I switch it in my head and I repeat. It's kind of like a mantra. And yeah, it's corny, but you know what? It works. That's all I have to say. It does work. Okay, so number 6, ask yourself, who can help me? So if you're having a hard time, you're still feeling stuck and frustrated after going through all of these steps, which it's not going to happen overnight that you can get past them. But if you are having problems, you can always reach out to a coach or a professional coach who might be able to help you push past your limitations and define your personal path to success. Friends can also help, as long as they're not negative and going to put you down. If they're just going to listen and help you with bouncing off ideas, they can be very helpful along the way as well. And then my personal suggestion is really finding a mentor to follow who has what you want. In the age of social media, it's very easy to follow people who you admire and do what they're doing and start there for getting ideas on what to do and approaches. Okay. So anyway, the very last item, which is number 6, that you can ask yourself in order to get unstuck is, what is one action that I can take today to move forward? And, working on yourself and your feelings and managing your emotions and all of that other stuff can be really, really tiring and even overwhelming. And moving forward by taking action is really the only way to get unstuck. Okay, so ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do right now to get me closer to my goal? And big or small, it doesn't matter, because action builds momentum, right? And it brings the path ahead into your view when you don't maybe know what the next step is going to be. When you start working towards it, it's amazing how things just kind of fall into place for you. Okay, and the action also provides like the driving force that will move you, like I said, in your new direction. So the first step is always going to be the hardest, but once you start taking steps, you find that things fall into place. So anyway, let me know. That's really all I wanted to go through. I know this was a really long thing, but I hope you found some value in it. And if you did, please let me know. I want to hear it. If you think anyone can benefit from hearing this message that I share with you today, please feel free to share my video. And thank you all for listening. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a great night. No one's really commenting unless I just can't read them. Sorry. Okay, so anyway, thanks again for watching. I hope you got value, and I'll see you again soon.